Okay, it's my first morning in Ohrid, Macedonia, and it's fairly late, like about 8 o'clock. I'll just pan the town. The old center and the tourist area is right there. My hostel right to the left of the red restaurant. Very lovely hostel, but cold because it's cold in atmosphere because it's new. There's no reception. It's just a place to sleep, but everything's brand new, which is nice. And there's nobody there but me, so that's even nicer. So this is my first morning in Ohrid, Macedonia. I hope to take one of these boats to Naum, which is at the far end of the lake behind me. My hostel to the left of that red restaurant. And there on the heights you can see the castle. Now I'll just pan the lake. This is a beautiful location, to say the least. Reminds me of the one I encountered, I think it was in Argentina. And now we pick up the other side of town. So I just met this man here, a nicely dressed man. His name is Ohrid. He's a professor at the university here, and he speaks good English. He has his own hostel with rooms that he rents out for €50. Good for couples. He's had 2 American couples this week alone, which is good. Apparently the Professor Ohrid is taking people on a cruise, on this cruise, or is a tour guide or whatever. And we're going to pick them up at the hotel over here. So we're off, and this is apparently the second of 2 weeks after a long, cold, rainy winter. It snows at this level, but it melts in a matter of minutes. But the mountains surrounding it are completely covered with snow during the winter. Our pilot for today, and we are off on his ship for Naum. So for a few moments here in Macedonia, just like Elvis, I have my own ship. Beautiful place. Here's certainly a lovely location, if it's private or otherwise. So here we're up lake at a resort area, and probably there are several hotels. The group that he is guiding today, they wanted their own boat, and they're from Colgate, Palmolive. They are representatives probably of the sales departments and marketing departments from Macedonia, Serbia, and I think Montenegro. Imagine owning that house, that ideal location, yet still close to civilization. And there's somebody camping in a small van with a couple kayaks on top. How cool is that? And I think up there beyond those homes is the road that goes to Naum. And I'm toying with the idea of seeing if I can take a ride back on that road instead of on the boat, just for fun. The folks from Colgate are up there, and since I'm on their boat, I'm going to try and stay clear of them so they won't be annoyed by my presence, although the Ohrid says not a problem. Probably a very lovely upscale resort. not more than a half an hour drive from Ohrid. Lovely location for those homes. People often ask me what I would do if I lived here. Actually, I can think of things except for being here in the winter. Kayaking would be one, hiking would be another. Probably you can bike here without dying. And it's a beautiful location as long as they've got good internet access. Can't tell if that's a church, recently built, recently remodeled, or what. Probably just recalled that Macedonia is Christian. And a couple more. It's interesting to see these people from Colgate and reflect that 40 some years ago, I think, actually earlier than that, almost 50 years ago, I worked for Alberto Culver doing the same thing that they're doing. And what's interesting to me is to look at them and think of what I've done since then. It's interesting as I look at these quote-unquote small villages alongside the lake, that after reading the guidebooks, and even more so perhaps Rebecca West's book, which is almost 70 years old, well, it's more than 70 years old now, I had the sensation that these might be small, quaint little villages, and of course they're anything but. Look at the small plot agriculture taking place on not a vertical slope, but a very, very steep slope. A slope that would be very strenuous just to climb up, I would think. The man there fishing is probably fishing for what is the very famous Ohrid trout. And the people that are on this cruise, one of their main goals is to have their luncheon of Ohrid trout. And I think I was wrong about the highway. I think it goes right along the water's edge. I thought so. I saw something up in the air, and it's a hang glider way down lake there. And I'm also quite sure that what's up behind this shore is Galika National Park, although it's called Galicijica or something like that I can't pronounce. Notice what to me are poplar trees, all up there. Rebecca West spoke of those poplar trees all along the shore at Naum. And there they parade right down along that ridge. Now, what's interesting as we proceed south on Lake Ohrid is beyond those mountains is another lake, Lake Prespa, that is about the same dimension, and it's a little bit higher elevation, and what it does is it continually leaches water from that higher elevation through these mountains into this lake, a natural, huge irrigation system. They're a lovely setting for those cabanas, part of that large hotel complex, nestled underneath those rocks. That little water area, notice it's got a little walkway around that point of rock. All this seems to be connected. The road is above it, back on the side of the hill a little bit, to this hilltop complex. But I also see what look like campers over there, what they might call caravans, I don't know. So this could be a place for me.